Alright, we are online. Cool. Back to our little game over here. Connection looks like it's good, and that should be good enough on our second cartography map that we're drawing today. You all can see me up there on the other live stream on YouTube. I'm doing a live stream on YouTube as well. I can show you guys the map. Why is this going so poorly? Why is it shutting on and off? I have no clue up there. Alright. We're going to keep drawing our map here while we're waiting for people to come back. Alright, let's see. Bad video settings. Welcome to the live stream. Right now I'm drawing a mountain range on this peninsula over here in order to explain why this region exists as a small peninsula. Since it's not really a place which people on this section of the map over here are in mountainous valleys on said peninsula. There are one or two lowlands in which civilization has developed and will develop in this area. But out here, there's a desert to the north of said mountain range that connects to Peninsular. The mountain range creates said desert existing to the north. I don't know why the YouTube streaming is so bad. Welcome Nick Liu to the live stream. Right now I'm drawing a forest in the northwestern section of the map, in which there's a lot of water that comes in from the trade winds to create said woodlands surrounding the region. Just putting down some trees. Perhaps there's a small divide in between, since everything hits over here and goes in. We'll develop cities and towns later after we've finished up the geography, but for now, I can put in some trees. This is a fictional cartography map of no specific location. It's just a map of a fictional world that was created in a previous live stream that I'm basically finishing up making. I can show you a whole detail of said map in a couple minutes. And right here, the most central place on the map thus far is the Fig Lake, which is bordered by mountains to the north, another lake to the south, and then just a ways over here is a third inland lake, which has no name yet. To everyone on YouTube, thank you for watching the live stream. We've got about 35 more minutes before it ends on this side for the first cartography map. But for you guys, this is about the quarterway point for said map. Alright, the live stream on YouTube is coming out a little healthier now that we don't have Palfish in the way. I am currently... Oh, Racers is terrible. There we go. Welcome JC to the live stream of the second cartography map. This is the second time we've been drawing this cartography map on this live stream. There are different parts of the world that are being developed as we speak, such as this southeastern desert right here. And If you have any names or desires to name any region on said cartography map, feel free to do so. This desert kind of cleanly is in this corner, specifically because of this mountain range to the south and the forest taking up a lot of the water to the west. Let's see, so the trade winds over here kind of touch the coast, and they would stop about here when hitting the landmass. So I would say that there'd be a few more trees here. That would be hitting this region, trees. There's actually a little bay right here, very small, that kind of divides the desert from the different areas. The forest and woodlands over here take up most of the water from the trade winds, while over here a grassland starts to pop up. On the interior, closer to the mountains. Welcome to the live stream. You are watching the creation of the second fictional cartography map. This is actually my main hobby, is drawing fictional cartography maps. I like to do from time to time. The southern section of the map is mostly developed, but there's one or two areas up here that are not fully developed. This little area is probably going to have an interior grassland over here because of the mountains that block the area out from rainfall, but not entirely, just partially. A lot of the coastline over here is basically going to end up being grassland anyhow. And as for YouTube, we are nearing 1/3 through this live stream. Welcome Vivian to our cartography live stream. And welcome Cynthia Junk to our cartography live stream. This is our second cartography map. Welcome Chinese brother to the cartography live stream tonight. You are watching the development of a fictional world, and just to the southern side of the map, a grassland is being drawn on to this peninsula right here. Nice little grassland. There's a few rivers in said area. And the grassland continues up to here, in which it would move inland, further away from the trade winds of the main ocean, and out into the zone out here. I would say somewhere approximately here there might be a mountain range that effectively divides between the lakes. Up here, Fig Lake over here, and the unnamed lake down here. A river does exist right here, streaming from this mountain here. So it would make sense that some sort of barrier, probably some really tall mountains. Let's make them big mountains here. Would be dividing the area up into different sections. Yeah, no, you're watching me at my favorite hobby, and my favorite hobby at work, which is drawing cartography maps. So I'm glad you could join us, Chinese brother. Welcome to your first cartography live stream. And watch this fictional world develop in this piece of paper develop into a nice fictional world. So this giant mountain range, these huge mountains in comparison to other mountains, such as right here, actually keep out a lot more rainfall from up here, of which this region is actually full of desert. An inland desert next to the Fig Lake to its west. Welcome Stone AOA to the live stream. We are currently putting a desert to the east of the Fig Lake because of the various mountain ranges that divide said region. And as of right now, the desert encompasses this lake. Welcome Lin King Yi to the live stream. You are watching the development of a fictional world and currently the development of a desert that divides up the region. I'm moving back south to this little grassland right here. While the ocean basically brings in a lot more rain than the neighboring Gulf right here, that's not enough to really bring in some forest. And in fact, much of the forest over here grows on this side of the lake. Woodlands, the trees. So I am from the United States, and I am in California specifically, close to the city of Los Angeles. Welcome, Rose. I'm glad you like LA. It's actually it's quite a nice city to visit. With the exception of the traffic, it's a fairly nice city to go to. I'm glad you could join the live stream, Rose. You are watching the development of this fictional cartography map, and there appears to be a small grassland up here between these rivers and the two woodlands over here, due to the trade winds not really hitting this area as much. Grassland appears and accompanies the northern reach, the northwestern reach of Fig Lake. A lot of figs grow around the Fig Lake in the middle of said continent, as well as this continent being a place where, as well as this lake being shaped similar to that of a fig. The western bank is dominated mostly by this the figgish grassland, and within the figgish grasslands there are abundance of figs and so forth in the region. So, I have been drawing fictional cartography maps since 3rd grade, on and off. And this is basically, Powfish has actually made it easier so I can draw maps again, since I haven't been drawing a lot recently. Glad you asked, Rose. Here's a purple pencil right here, just for variation. Up here, she's got some more woodlands. Oh. Alright. It's an old arrow that doesn't need to be there anymore. Actually, no, this could be hills. Rolling hills in the middle here. Welcome, Wen, to the Cartography Livestream. I'm glad you could join me tonight. This is my second cartography map that I've drawn on this site. And currently I'm drawing what appears to be a northern grassland. And there's a location here called Fig Lake to the south of the mountain range. That is the most central location on said map. A lot of figs grow on the western banks over here toward the forests and plains. along Fig Lake, where various peoples have lived. Welcome to the live stream. This is a cartography live stream in which I am basically drawing a fictional map. You're watching the development of the North Coast right now, north of this little mountainous region. Part of this river over here actually stretches out here and is very chaotic to the landscape over here. It's really good for farming though, when the river occasionally moves out here. Welcome to the live stream. You are watching the development of a fictional world. Right now I'm adding in an extra mountain range on the eastern coast. There's a little bit of woodlands over here. And I think inland there would actually be some forest as well over here, due to the higher rainfall in this little section of the continent. Alright, so how is the live stream going up here? It's going pretty well. Got 8 more minutes or so of this map. How could we make this more interesting? Welcome, GRE. For coming to the live stream, you have won the prize of getting a golf named after you on this fictional world. The Gur Golf in the south of this continent. Congrats. You yourself are now the proud namesake of a fictional golf on a fictional cartography maps live stream. We have about 6 more minutes on this map. I'll go show you around. To the north of Gur Gulf is the Fig Lake, in which figs are grown on the western shores. Just east of the Fig Lake, across the unnamed desert, is the Lone Sea, which is an internal lake of water that comes up out of the ground. To the south, the desert stretches all the way south across this river to a southern mountain range right here. Southern mountain range, to the south of it, there's a whirlpool which prevents ship travel beyond said region for any locals. Just over here are some woodlands, mountains and grassland to the north and west of these woodlands, of which crisscrossed is a grassland here that stretches up to the Gur Gulf, which then is next to another woodlands to the west, attached to an unnamed mountain, which the forest is grown from another trade wind out into the ocean. A few rivers crisscross in and out next to the grassland, which is next to Fig Lake. Alright, YouTube live stream. How's it going? We got 4 minutes left on the map itself for the Powfish until we switch over to our next map, of which my next map is just over here. Next map right here in the next hour that we will continue drawing out. For now, you're going to create a measurement system on said map along this corner. Unit of measurement. Approximately here. I was going to say that's about 1,000 miles. Welcome, Carrie SA. You get a region named after you on said map for popping up. And welcome, Estabella. You get the right here is the Istabella Peninsular. Isabella Peninsular. And over here will be the over here is now the Kerry Shaw Mountains. Now the mountain, so you got a nice long mountain range along the coast right here, Kerry. It stretches a good couple thousand miles. I will be moving to our next cartography map if you want to join me. So have a good afternoon. All right. Alright, welcome to our cartography live stream. Let me just turn the camera around and we will put in the old map here. Anyone that pops up on said map will basically get a region named after them. And that's how we're going to do this. Let me just go grab some more paper, which I set down somewhere. Alright. I'm just waiting around YouTube. I have another cartography map here. This is mostly for the PalFish employees or students. Here is the very first cartography map. It has a place called the Inner Lake right about here that has the inner desert with the inner river stretching down. Just over to the very eastern coast is the Chimp River, which stretches at least a good 500 miles into the continent. Now, we also have the southern hills about here, in which there are tribes that inhabit said southern hills. And just to the north coast, you see a mountain range called the Spine, which stretches a good 500 miles. Keep in mind this is a continent rather than an island that's drawn. And I am basically drawing out the different features of said region. Welcome, Jaina, to the live stream. You actually get a region named after you. Let's see, right here we can name, you get this area named right after you. Let's see. This will be Gina Philly, a new settlement. Welcome Zip 3020. Glad you can make it. For coming to said live stream, you get a nice settlement named after you, right on the map. Right here, you get this settlement, of which we will call it. We will designate this Zip. Zipland. You have You now have a settlement on said map called Zipland on the southern coast of our first cartography map. I'm glad you could join us today. There are different regions on said map. The Inner Lake, which has settlements that go down the Inner River, across the Inner Land, which is mostly composed of desert, and toward the coast, a grassy plain. YouTube, if anyone pops up on said live stream, you can have a settlement named after you in said, in next place. I'll basically take whatever we have here. Welcome, Almira. You, for coming to this live stream, get the Almira mountain range named after you in this northern reach. The Almiras are a mountain range that stretch a good estimate of 600 to 700 miles from the east coast of the continent inland. Welcome ones to the live stream. You, for coming on to the live stream, get a, let's see, ones, you get a settlement named after you a little north of the Chimp River. And this area is going to be called One-Zerp. After this region. So, just south of One-Zerp is the Chimp River and the Chimp River Delta. And the Chimp River itself stretches a good 600 miles inland to this unnamed mountain range, which touches the Innerland right here, the Innerland Desert, next to the Innerland River and Innerland Lake. So, glad you could join me for this live stream. Now, let's go around looking at other chunks of the map. I'm trying to name off pieces of said map, so I'm going to do so via usernames who pop up. I'm also still developing the histories of different peoples on this region too, so enjoy. Alright, so YouTube, I am pleased to inform you that anyone who pops up on the live stream can do whatever they want. If you put your name in the comments, I will gladly name a region after you on said map. The history of this area is fairly well developed as far as what the tribes do in most of the regions, but for the most part, most of the regions on said map remain unnamed. Welcome, Artakai. Your cloud bubble makes me think that you can have named after yourself the Arctire River right here. For coming on to said live stream, you now get a region named after you, called the Arctica. Welcome Chen to the live stream. For coming on to said map, you get a settlement on the Chimp River Delta right here, which I'm going to name Chinkin. The settlement of Chinkin on the Chimp River Delta, on the southern tip of it, is on a river that stretches, the Chimp River, around 700 or so miles inland next to a mountain range bordering the innerland desert to the north. The Arctica River, north of the Chimp River by about 300 miles, stretches a good 500 miles inland. Welcome, Sixth Smith. You are the winner of a region. I'm going to give you the Sixth Smith Plains to the north up here. The Sixth Smith Plains are dominated by tribes that are very much nomadic, like the Mongols, and said tribes migrate north and south along the coast and next to the mountain range called the Spine. Welcome, ARF1, to the live stream. For joining said live stream, you get a settlement named after you on the inner river, on the outer edge of the inner river basin. A fun, let's see, AF1, a fun Wana. The town of Afonwana exists on the outer edge of the Innerland River, which stretches a good 700 miles from the western coast all the way up to the inner lake inside the Innerland, which is surrounded by the Innerland Desert. To the north of the Innerland Desert is the Almara Mountains, which themselves stretch a good 700-800 miles from the coastline over here toward this little unnamed the Innerland Pass right here. Welcome, Steves. Steves, you get a region named after you. The Steves Island. So on the live stream YouTube, I am naming off places from Whoever pops up on YouTube and whoever pops up on Palfish gets either a settlement, a region, or something else named after them, varying on who pops up. So, anyone on Facebook, feel free to pop up on the live stream. And anyone on YouTube, feel free to pop up on said live stream and get a settlement, mountain range, forest, or anything else named after you. Let's see. What do we got here? Still got a lot of spare time. That's what we got. Let's see what we can do about this. Alright, is anyone else popping up? No. I'm going to go to Facebook and see who wants in on this lovely thing. Alright, welcome to the live stream 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And for coming on board, you get the you get a area named after you. You get the trade wind over here. This trade wind right here is named after your username. The 12, 34, 56 trade wind. This trade wind provides the Chimp River and the forest surrounding along the western coast with a lot of its rainfall during certain seasons of the year. It provides rainfall for places like One Serp, settlements like One Serp, and it also provides rainfall for the river of Arcticai to the north. Hello 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm glad you could join us. And D, I'm glad you could join us. For joining our live stream, you get the Deek Tea up here named after you, this island. You get the Deek Tea Island named after you. The cultures that exist on said island are very much like the Peloponnesians or Vikings. When they sail around, they've established settlements along the north coast for lumber and other trade goods. Welcome back, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You get another region named after you for coming back. We're going to give you the next trade wind to the south here, the Tur trade winds. And the Tur trade winds are basically this circular region right here that basically provide water to Stevie Isle, and also provide ocean water to the settlement of Chunking along the Chimp River Delta. Now, it's a very small trade wind and definitely does... So, D, I am basically... I've already driven the cartography map. So what I'm doing is naming places after people who come up onto said map. For example, for you, I named randomly this island up north, which I called Deeked Island right here, which is where a Viking-like culture exists. And I'm just kind of naming off regions of the map as people come onto the live stream, since I've already drawn out most of the details of said map at this time. Now, feel free to do as you please. Other parts of the map that exist include the Innerland, which stretches a good 1,000 or so miles. The Innerland Pass up here. There's the Inner Lake, the Innerland Desert that surrounds the Inner Lake. Oh, 1 second. So let me just, since you're the guy here, I'm going to pop up another picture of said map that's more clear. It's going to take me a second to get to it. It's buried deep in my camera photos here. Let me just go over here. Pretty far back. Is this it? Nope, that's not it. I'm looking through my camera stream because I know I took a picture of this a while ago. Here's an older version of the map right about here. Yeah, so I'm not sure about the connector. I've had a little bit of trouble with connection tonight, but it is what it is. This is basically the map as it was after the very first live stream. You see the geography developed for the Innerland to the central east of the map, the Southern Hills region along the southern coast. The Chimp River and the Chimp Delta is basically right about here. The Chimp River and Chimp Delta. The Innerland and Inner Lake and Inner Pass are around here. To their north are the Almira Mountains right here. The Spine. No voice. Can you hear me now? Check. 1, 2, check, check, check. 1, 2, 3, check. Can you hear me now? Alright, can you hear me now? Check, check, check. 1, 2, check. 1, 2, check. Check, check. Check. 1, 2, check, check, check. 1, 2, check. 3, 4, 5, check. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, check. Do you hear me now? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Can you hear me now? Check, check, check. Let's see. If you have any questions about said map, you can also, let's see. Nope, the volume's all the way up. Check 1, 2, 3. If you have any questions about said cartography map, feel free to post them in the comments below. And also, so you yourself have a trade wind named after you over here, called the TR trade wind. And then there's the 12, 34, 56 trade wind that exists over here, that I named after you for coming on the live stream earlier today. So, check 2, 3, check, check. Now, other parts of the map that are undiscussed right now is the Arcticai River that exists right about here. This little stream here is the Arcticai River. To the very north, need to clear out the map. To the very north around here is where the Dirk Isle exists. Let me just move this out of the way. The Dirk Isle exists somewhere around here. And the Spine Mountain Range is this right here. Stretches all the way over here. Gonna clear that out. The Sixth Smith Plain exists along the coast here, next to the spine. And other places that are named are the Southern Hills, right about here. And the settlement of Zipland, which is approximately here. Then there's also the settlement of Genafil, which is just over here. It's a little hard to determine without the dots and so forth. There's also Afwana on the southern little bit right here of the Innerland River wetlands. Another location on said map that we have already named is the settlement called One Schlurp, which exists on the edge here. One Schlurp. And that's most of the things that are named are those things. Esbella, welcome to the live stream. I'm going back to the camera, and for joining said live stream, you get the Isabella Plain named after you next to Zipland over here. Well, nope. The Isabella Desert right here. Welcome to the live stream. The Isabella Desert stretches next to the Innerland Plains to the west, to the east over here, and to the north is an unnamed mountain range. To the west are unnamed rivers and streams with a lot of settlements. And further west, you see the Southern Hills that exist right about here. Further west of that is this giant unnamed forest, which holds a settlement Jingchang right here on the Chimp River. And there's another settlement here, One Serp, on the Arctica River. Just further north up here is the Dirk Island, which is the base of a Viking-esque culture in this north coast region with different settlements across the area. I myself cannot speak Chinese. I can only say one or two phrases like Niuma and different city names. That's my limit in Chinese. What I am basically showing you is a fictional cartography map of which I have not named all the locations on. And anyone who pops up on said map during this live stream is going to get something or another named after them on our first cartography map. So that's basically what the gist is tonight. on said map. And actually, let's see. I'm going to check back over here on my computer. Alright, so looks like there's a little bit of... So what I'm basically showing you is I'm showing you basically a map, a fictional cartography map that I have drawn over the course of 2 live streams, and that I am deciding to give names to each locations depending on who shows up to said live stream. You yourself popped back up and get another trade wind named after you. You get the northern wind, which is basically the terse wind. You get the terse trade winds named after you on the map as well now. The terse trade winds split off from the 12, 34, 56 trade winds and basically swirl up nearby the Dirk Island, where a bunch of other smaller trade winds surround various different islands. Now, that isn't to say that... So the trade winds in and around Dirk actually make it easier for the people of the island of Dirk to sail around and travel to and from the mainland and to and from the islands nearby Dirk, because unlike other parts of the map where the trade winds just kind of circle around the continent till they leave, such as over here, Trauma, welcome to the live stream. You get a region named after you. You have the Trauma mountain range over here named after you. So what I'm doing in this live stream, the Trauma Mountains. These are mountains that encircle the southern chunk of the inner land and that have intertwining deserts and forests within them. The longest mountain range on said place, twice as long as the Spine and the Almira Mountains, and yet also encompasses its own little lake valley right here. The Trauma Mountain Range has starting point for major rivers like the Chimp River that goes down to the sea, and the Arctikai River just up here that travels into the sea. Now as we go further, as we go over here, there is a place called the Innerland Pass, where different merchants from these 2 settlements here and here basically set on camels and trade with each other, as one of the only passes that the Innerland cities actually have trade with. They usually trade for things like lumber, timber that exists up here, or stuff like salt and glass from the inner lake, and other mineral resources from this settlement over here, which is next door to the Almira mountain range. So if you have any questions or comments about any region on this map, go ahead and post them in the comments below. going to see what we got here. So we are on the last quarter or third of our live stream at the 26-minute left mark, and I hope you enjoy said map. I'm going to post up a cleaner version of said map right now as soon as I can find it, so you can take a look at it. Let me just, there we are. So, to get a better idea of where things are, right here, in the middle is the inner lake. The inner river is this stream right here. Surrounding that is the innerland desert, which is between the two mountains. The innerland plain, which encompasses this area right here. To the north of that is the Almira Mountains, which encompasses this mountain range here. And the other major mountain ranges include the Spine up here and the Trauma Mountains, which go circulate this entire region here. Now, important rivers on said map, besides the Innerland River, are the Chimp River, right about here, the Arctici River, that goes right here, and there are also important geographical locations other than the Innerland, such as the Southern Hills, right about here. There's also the Isabella Desert, which exists about here on the map. Oh, that's not what I'm looking for. What also exists on said map is the town of Zipland, right about here. And just nearby, in about the same area, is Genafil, about here. Another settlement that exists on said map by another user is Afwana, right about here. Other places in settlement, other places on the map is the 6th Smith Plain, which is this northern area here, right next to the, which is right next to the Spine and right next to the ocean. Dirkt Isle exists about here. To the very south, we have the town of Wanserp on the Arkata River, about here. Another settlement that is on a major river is Chinchang, about here. Another important site is Stevie Island, which exists out here on said, which exists down in this area over here. Three of the trade winds are named currently. The Tur winds that are over here, that circle next to Dirkt. You also have the 123456 trade wind, which is over here, and the Tur trade wind over here. The histories of different peoples on this map include the Six Smith tribes on the Six Smith Plain over here. They're very much like Mongolic coastal tribes that kind of exist and go north and south. There are a lot of... so I am from the United States. I am in California, Los Angeles, as of right now. So other parts that are on this map that are of significance, that are currently named. Trying to find areas that are currently named on said map. I think that's mostly it for named locations on this map. Otherwise, I'm just going to keep repeating myself for 20 minutes, which would be very tiresome for both of us. Now, if you have any other questions or comments for the artists, go ahead and post them. I myself am in Apple Valley, California, or I'm in Los Angeles, California, and my favorite hobby is fictional map drawing, and this is one of the maps in which I decided to invite the students in on out of the two maps and name locations. So that's a shame. I don't know how to solve the connection problem. Not sure how to solve the connection problem, but I'll be back in a... I'm gonna go do something for 1 second. It's getting warm running a couple electronic things at once, so... Let's see, is there anything else I can do? Not really. Now, I have basically been talking here probably for, say, nearly 2 hours straight. No, yeah, the location is a little bit messy, but yeah, no, the location I'm at is a little bit messy. I'm kind of moved back from college and not all the books. So yeah, I am single. But I came back from college and not all of my stuff has been able to pack away neatly, which kind of leaves the area that I'm in a little messier than it needs be. So I'm just kind of going through my stuff still after a month or two and basically determining what needs to be done. So with the stuff. So it's good to know that the camera still rolls on the side while the main chunk goes on. So, where in China are you, 123456? Since I already told you that I'm in Los Angeles, California, in the United States. This can basically be a free Q&A since I've already gone through said map multiple times. As far as future live streams go, I'm going to do the cartography live streams on random. I'm probably done with the current cartography maps that I've drawn, given that they're fully developed, and that it would basically be very useless to not draw a new map. But I can actually just pull up the map we just looked at a while ago. This cartography map is mostly filled in. It doesn't have any settlements or anything, but I have not come to China. I'm planning to come to China in the future, but as of right now, I do not have the resources to get on a plane and just head to China. I am currently just living off of a substitute teacher's salary, as well as anything that I scrap up on Palfish. So that's basically where I am with Palfish as of right now. And money. So let's see. Have you ever been to the United States? 123456 as a quick question. Or as I'm going to post. Oh, wait a second. Have you ever traveled abroad? That'll be the question I post up in the comments. I myself have traveled to Canada and Mexico nearly 10 years ago. Have you traveled beyond China? Is my question that I'm posting right now. Let's just do this. Let's see, I've got 14 minutes left, but not much to draw. And I don't know where my scrap paper is right now that I've been using. Can probably go grab that, and we can draw some of the cultures that would be on said map. Welcome, Poppy88. You are the winner of a new region. Darn it. Let's see. Poppy88, you get the entire Western Woodlands. Over here. You are now the name of the 88 Poppy Woodlands. To give you a better idea, so this is a fictional cartography map, and I am currently naming off locations after users that pop up on said map. You are given the name of the Western Woodlands that stretch from this northern coast down all the way to this region right here next to the southern hills, and the woodlands are now called, as they were unnamed previously, the 88 Poppy Woodlands. In relation to other locations in said area, the Chimp River, not clear. So I basically named a section of my fictional cartography map after you for joining our live stream tonight as a reward. So I'm glad that you joined us. And I specifically named the woodlands over here on the west coast the 88 Poppy Woodlands after your username. And that's basically what just happened. What I'm also doing is discussing certain questions and things. So if you're still online, Poppy, you can ask me questions about myself or anyone else who's here. So the Poppy Woodlands now contain the Chimp River, The poppy woodlands also contain the Arthrica River right here, which has the settlement of One Schlurp right here. Another settlement about here called Jingking, of which borders what is called the Southern Hills. To the east of these woodlands are what is known as the Trauma Mountains, named after the user Trauma. To the east of the Trauma Mountains is the Innerlands, which contain the Innerland Desert, the Inner Lake, and the Inner River, as well as the Inner Plain along the coast. To the north of the Innerland is the Almira Mountains, of which between the Almira Mountains and the Trauma Mountains is somewhere called the Inner Pass, as can be seen visually right there. Welcome, Nick Liu. You are now given the name of a location. You are now given the name of a... Oh, that's cool. Nick Liu, you have just been named a settlement next to the Southern Hills on the coast called with the tribe of the Lus have a settlement called Lushi right here. Welcome XXIN to the live stream. You have just earned a name recognition on this map by joining automatically, and you are being given a settlement right here called Xing, and to the other user, I welcome to the map. You are given the name of a river right about here next to the Southern Mountains which has the character right here. This is the name of said river that extends from the southern mountain range called the Trauma Mountains. And I'm glad you could join us tonight for the live stream. We have 8 minutes. If you want to discuss any questions or comments, feel free to say so in the comment section below. I'm basically going to be online for another 7 minutes, naming locations after people who pop up or leave. And let's pull up the bigger picture over here, the old picture of the map. Just going to scroll down through these photos. Until we find it. There it is. If anyone else joins the live stream, they get a location named after them on said fictional cartography map. So feel free to invite anyone you want to the map. I will basically be here for the next 6 minutes, and I hope you guys enjoy your time here. I'm just kind of moving around as we please. All the same, if anyone on a different broadcasting system names anything, which they haven't, then they might get something named after them too. Welcome you and me to the live stream. I'm glad you could join us tonight. You and me gets the river next to the spine, the you and me river. The Yumi River. Anyway, so I'm basically still here for the next 5 minutes. The Yumi River is next to the spine, which both kind of circle about here, is the Yumi River. The spine just kind of circles closer to the coastline, next to the Sixsmith Plain. But anyway, I'm out and several times. That's fine. 12:34:56. I'm glad you could join us tonight, and I hope you have a good afternoon. And if you haven't had lunch yet, feel free to feast or snack however you please. For my side of the world, it is going to be midnight in 4 minutes. So do as you want. Let's see. I'm really not sure how to fix the connector. I've not figured out how to fix the connector to where it can be consistently good at live streaming. So, if you have any other questions, 12:34:56, go ahead and ask me. Otherwise, I'm basically just going to be around waiting for whoever pops up next. This will be the last live stream that I do with this map, and then I'll basically put it away and file it somewhere. So, I am 22 years old. I am 22 years old, and I graduated college last May. What is your age? 12:34:56. Welcome, Jason, to the map. You get a piece of land named after you, and we're going to say that you have the Jason River on the southern edge named after you right here. Welcome, Elena, to the map. So the Jason River is now right here. Oh. I am not married, I am single. But welcome, Elena. I'm going to name after you the other river up north. The Elena River. It's quite a turbulent river, the Elena River up here. Ah, shoot. Really? This is not doing anything for me. Anyway, so right up here is the Elena River. And Jason, your river is this one right here that stretches up to this mountain. From right here to here is the Jason River. I'm glad you could both join us for tonight's live stream. This will be the last live stream with this map. The next cartography live stream will be with an entirely new and different map. So I hope you guys can visit for that. I will still be doing a 70 Wonders of China live stream at 11 a.m. tomorrow. And I'll probably do 1 or 2 other live streams for the fun of it, intertwining our main live stream with 70 Wonders. So, other locations on the map, the most significant, most important, is the inner land, which contains a desert, the inner land, the inner lake, the inner river, and toward the coast, the inner plain. To the north of the inner land is the Almira Mountains, and to the south is the Trauma Mountains, which also extend the western border. To the north of the innerland, you will see the Innerland Pass connecting two settlements, one in the innerland to a settlement on the Yumi River. I hope you guys visit for tomorrow's live stream. Have a good afternoon. 11 a.m. is the 70 Wonders live stream. Come on down and visit. It is free. And have a good afternoon. Why? Really? And to everyone on YouTube, I hope you guys have a good night, for it is now midnight where I am, and we will stop streaming now.